Habari Entertainment proudly presents Habari Live. Habari Live. From Phoenix, Arizona. And you're listening to the Habari Live podcast. The show that brings you news, sports, and entertainment for people who love HabariEntertainment.com. Here are your hosts, Iesha, Jimmy, and Damon Dipleen Ellison. Let's get it going. We are all the way live.
Good morning, everyone. Let's get ready for another episode of Habari Live, your go-to podcast for the pulse of Phoenix and beyond. Like always, we're all the way live in Phoenix, Arizona. This morning, I'm by myself. It's just Damon, but we should be joined with Iesha pretty soon here. We are all the way live in Paradise Valley. Like I said, I'm Damon Ellison, and my co-host Iesha, she will be here in a second. We will be your guide through the exciting stories and everyday happenings in our vibrant community, your weekly dose of inspiration, innovation, and insightful conversations from the heart of our city. So let's get it going, man. Yeah. It's been a wild week, another crazy week in politics. We see craziness when it comes to the Iran war. We don't know for sure exactly where we stand with this war right now. Are we in the end? Are we in the beginning? Is it over? Is it, and Trump is not really doing a good job of communicating what exactly is going on because he doesn't look like a fool. So basically what we're doing is guessing what's going on. We're seeing a couple of days ago, there were a couple of ships that got into a battle and some other things that went down. So we don't know for sure what exactly is going on with this war. We also seen J.D. Vance freeze up to $1.3 billion in Medicare for California, something they also did in Minnesota. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and get into those things because it's just it's ridiculous, man, what we're seeing right now. It's the fraud is a problem. I understand you want to catch fraud. I get that. But you also don't want other people to suffer because some people are committing fraud. You go after the fraudsters, you catch them, you put them in prison. I don't understand why the Republicans feel as though, oh, well, it's fraud. Just shut it all down. Like, it's crazy. Like I've said it before, man, there's so many things that has fraud. There's fraud in the police department. There's fraud in the FBI. There are fraudulent people on every level of every government, of every position, of every job. There's someone that's doing something they shouldn't be doing. To say that everyone in the world is doing the right thing and no one's stealing is so ridiculous when the president is a thief. He loves to cheat people, steal, make fraudulent claims, something he's done throughout his career. I mean, it's crazy to sit here and watch these people try to act like, oh, no fraud, zero fraud. Like, then you take apart every company, every department that's built to help fraud. That's the crazy part. AOC can't find. Okay. Anyway, it still didn't take those damn hashtags off. That's crazy. On our title. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did that. It's weird.
It is weird. But anyway, yeah, man. We do have a video we did play on Monday, but we're going to play these again. Let's play this of AOC talking about some of the money and some of the things that's happening in the government.
Roundup has been connected to a lot of cancer in this country, specifically non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And farmers and lots of people that have been exposed to Roundup, many of whom who have developed this, have been suing Monsanto. And Monsanto has been settling with people across the country, trying to keep this quiet, but also being held liable for this. Now, this is one of the biggest multinational corporations in the world, but at this point they had paid out, I think, over $1 billion in damages and counting. So now Monsanto says, we got to stop this. And we also got to increase Roundup.
Now that's Roundup and some of the things that's going on. And we talked about this on Wednesday. But these are the things that's going on, man. We got these companies doing a lot of fraud. People are getting hurt. Cancer is spreading. And a lot of people are getting these cancers messing with these products. And what do? They just buy out a couple people, buy out a couple politicians, and they go on about their life. They pay people out, pay people off, and just keep on selling the product, and people just keep dying and keep getting cancer from their products. And that's something that's just a problem to me and to anyone else who pays attention to this shit, man. It's a shame that we see companies, because they have money, they get away with so many things, and they get to hurt so many people without consequences. We see the gun lobbyists, how many people die from their products, and because they're protected, the Republicans protected them to make sure the gun lobbyists never have any issues, and they can people keep dying from their product, and it's all good. It's no problem. Those are the things that really, really, really pisses me off, because these are the people who should be paying to make sure that their products are safe. Any other product, any other thing, any other product that was put out, if you got hurt, McDonald's burnt someone with coffee, had to pay billions of dollars. Like, it's always a situation where people have to pay for their products and be held accountable. But when you got things like Roundup, they're paying people. But what do you do if this company just keeps doing the same things and no one is doing anything to stop them? And it's a problem. So, man, today I wanted to go into the $1.3 billion that was frozen by the Trump administration as they target California's Medicare funding. It's like I said, this is something that's been going on for a little minute. It's something that the Trump administration has said that this is a top priority for them to go after fraud, and we understand that. But at the same time, why is everyone else, little kids, old people, why do they have to suffer? Because you're going to stop Medicaid through the whole state, and you haven't done this in any red states. You're only doing it in blue states. So that makes you feel like we know it's fraud in red states because we've seen it. But this is all politics, it's all games. So, let's just go after the blue states, California, Minnesota, Illinois, the places that the Republicans love to talk about, but they just hate with a passion. So, it's something that we have to keep looking into, man, because this is it's a damn shame what they're doing with Medicaid. And we're going to keep talking about it. It's a massive move by the Trump administration that is sending shockwaves throughout the healthcare system across the country. The administration has deferred $1.3 billion in Medicaid reimbursements to the state of California, and they're framing it as a crackdown on fraud. But critics are asking a very serious question today. Is this really about fraud, or is it about politics? It seems like politics to me. Because when you start freezing healthcare funding connected to seniors, disabled Americans, hospice care, and in-home support services, just months before a major election season, people are going to question the timing, especially when the administration making these accusations already has a track record of controversial investigations and questionable data claims. And this situation is huge. Vice President J.D. Vance and CMS Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz from Reality TV has announced that this is the largest Medicaid funding deferral in the history of CMS. Think about that, man. The largest ever. This administration says California home healthcare and hospice systems are showing suspicious growth patterns and questionable spending. Dr. Oz went as far as claiming that nearly half of the hospice providers in Los Angeles area are suspected of fraud. This is enormous accusations, and we all know it's fake. It's all bullshit because they hate California. Trump wants Cali to pay, and he wants to do everything he can to make sure that California is hit. But critics are asking, man, where is the evidence? Where are the criminal charges? Where are the detailed public findings? Accusing half an entire healthcare sector of fraud without fully showing the receipts creates a dangerous environment where people start assuming guilt before investigations are complete. And that's exactly what the Republicans love to do. We see the little investigation with the SPLC, and the first thing they're called it, all the Democrats, they're guilty. You know, everybody, any accusation that comes versus Trump is fake. Any accusation versus any Republican is fake and made up. But any accusation that comes toward the Democrats, oh, it's real. They're guilty. No trial, no nothing. They're guilty in the eyes of the Republicans. They're already online celebrating, talking about the SPLC and how fraudulent they are, and they're the ones that's pushing racism, and racism is fake, and the Democrats are making it up, and the Democrats are the racists. Just ignorant shit, man. The typical Republican stuff. You know, never take responsibility for your actions. Keep being racist in your books, but keep denying that they are racist online. You know, they don't want to be called racist anymore. They just want to do racist things. They don't want to be called out on that racism. They just want to be able to say racist shit and do racist shit without consequences. And that's what's going on, man. That's what we're seeing here. That's ridiculous stuff, man. Oh, dang, man. I messed up. I didn't bring my videos in. Should be what is fraud? Why losers? Oh goodness. Democrats been funding the KKK for 160 years. Here y'all go, man. Y'all so fake, dude. Stand on what you're for the districts and taking out the black districts, but then you're gonna sit here and say the Democrats are funding the KKK while Republicans remove black districts across the South, and you guys are act like, oh, it's the Democrats. You know, it's not us. And who's the ones that's taking out black districts? Who are the ones that's waving Nazi flags and Confederate flags? And I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. I'm so sick of the bull. You are losing the debate by deflection. Racism is not true. I thought the Democrats was funding racism. So if racism isn't true, how is the Democrats the ones pushing racism? So this boy, every week we got these people coming here, dog, talking about something from 1964. Yes, the South used to vote Democrat. They don't vote Democrat anymore. They vote Republican. The Dixie Democrats were against the Civil Rights Act. And I don't even know why you're saying this. Right now, Republicans are tearing apart the Civil Rights Act. They just gutted it. The Supreme Court has gutted it several times. So what the fuck are you talking about? How can you fix your mouth to talk about the Civil Rights Act when your group right now is tearing it apart? How can you talk about it like the Democrats were against it when Republicans are the ones that's tearing it up right now today? They just took out Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. They've taken out other sections from the Supreme Court, and they're doing everything they can to tear apart everything that Martin Luther King stood for. And for you guys to sit here and act like, oh, it's the Democrats, when you're the ones that's doing it today, it's so insane. Oh, so how do you create fake racism? So they make people become racist and they pay them to be racist and make them act that way so it's fake? How is the person that's seeing this racism know if it's fake or not? That's just racism. I mean, so the people that they're racist against, do they know? Oh, they're just kidding. It's fake. It's from the SPLC. It's fake. Because you cannot have how you can't have black districts? There's black cities and black towns. How can't you have black districts if there's black areas? because segregation is a big part of America. So tell me how you can't have black districts when you have black cities, black areas, black locations that are filled with just black people. The white people moved as soon as the blacks moved in, they moved out. White flight is what it's called. Redlining and segregation put black people in the same areas, and those things still are pronounced today because it's all type of segregation across this country, from the north to the south. Chicago, Milwaukee, everywhere has a black area. Anytime someone doesn't agree, they're considered racist. What do you? I swear y'all stupid. Democrats decree anyone or anything that doesn't advance their agenda racist. No, anyone that takes away power that was put in place during the Civil Rights Act is racist. It's pretty simple. You want to take away black power? You want to take away the black caucus? You want to take away all black representation? Something the South has done since Reconstruction. How many Democrats have won the South? How many black people have been the governor in the South? How many times have the governor of the red states been from some blue state? Like, dog, y'all talk like somebody's run those states. Those states have always been red. Always. How the hell is the South operated by Democrats? So you trying to tell me the South votes Democrat right now? Black people love racism because it makes them, yeah, it makes us feel really special that people hate us. That nothing makes you feel better than a whole group of people that hate your guts. Oh yeah, man, that makes you feel really good that everybody hates you and it looks at you and hates you because of the color of your skin. Yeah, yeah, man, it's definitely gets you a lot of great attention. You're right. I thought he said the content of your character, not the color of your skin. Man, dude, the color of your skin is always going to be an issue in America because the color of your skin has always been something that white America has used to ostracize, segregate. This is the way it's always been. You group people by their color, and you your census is based off color, skin. Everything is based off color. If you guys always screaming you don't want anything to do with color and race, well, why don't you tell your government to stop asking about color and race? Your government is the one that started this stuff. There wasn't no such thing as the white race. This is something you guys started, and then you get mad when somebody else says, "Hey, we're black." You don't like that? Like, it's so goofy. You started it. If you want to end it, then you go to your local representatives and you say, "Hey, we need to stop this race stuff." Because everything is broken down. Everything I fill out, ask me what race I am. While you guys sit around, you should stop thinking about race all the time. Well, why is everything I have to do with any application, any form I fill out, they ask me what color and what race I am? Thanks for proving my point. You cling to racism for a false sense of moral. Yeah, definitely feel like you're moral superior to others because yeah, my race has never done anything bad, so I'm definitely morally superior to you. What the fuck, man? Shut up. Y'all, you guys really think in just a racist manner. There's black people have done things bad, white people have done things bad. Black people has a history that's bad, white people have history that's bad. There's no group that's perfect. I know you guys are born and raised to think that you're perfect and everything you do is great and everything American sensationalism. I understand, but that's not the way it is, man. Every group has problems. There's no group that's perfect. Haven't met one yet. Ever. So, with your logic, why would you call Barack Obama black when he wasn't raised around black people? Well, Barack Obama is black because of a rule that was put in place in America that's it's embedded in the culture of America. It's called the one drop rule. One drop of black make you black. And if you have anything in your system that was black, you were called black. And that's the way America made it. When we were slaves and America was making rules, the 3/5 compromise, making decisions that black people weren't real, anyone that had one drop of black in them, they made sure that you knew that you were black in this country. So you guys love to sit around and complain about things that you put in place. Oh, why is he black? Well, he's black because y'all, anyone that had a drop of black in him, y'all wanted to know. And y'all felt as though that person was not a full human being. So if you want to blame anybody, go look back at your culture and your history and the people who made the decision that they didn't want to count black people as full black, and those who came up with the one drop rule. All rules based in American history. Representative Omar is not black. Okay, if you say so, bro. What makes you the bearer of who's black? Omar is from Sudan. So all those people are dark skinned and African. So you're gonna say they're not black? What the fuck are they then? No, she's Somali. So I mean, Somali. She's from Somalia. You really gonna say the Somalian people who are dark skinned from Africa aren't black? All right, man. If you say so, bro. You guys has always been the bearer of who's black and who's what. I can tell who's black, who's not. You guys, the white people know everything. They tell everybody who's what, what's racism. They know everything, man. They're so smart, man. Republicans, so smart. For every time Democrats say people of color, they're being racist. Thank you. You what? Oh, you're goofy. So what matters, because all this shit matters because real people are attached to this funding, man. California says roughly 900,000 residents rely on these in-home support services. Elderly people, disabled residents, families who depend on caregivers staying funded so loved ones can remain at homes instead of being forced into more expensive nursing facilities. So now the question becomes, who suffers while Washington and Sacramento fight this political war? And that's the issue. Why do people have to suffer? Because the Trump administration want to take away people's Medicare. If you want to fight fraud, go after the fraudsters, arrest them, put them in jail. That's how you do it. I agree with you, Jay Tiffany. She's from Africa, a country called Somalia. Somali. I don't understand what they're talking about. She is black and African. She's both. I don't get it, man. I don't understand these people. They trying to tell me who's black and who's not. You gonna tell people who they are. His father is African, not a black American. Those are two different things. Dude, I have to disagree with you. There are people that are Muslims who live in Africa. They don't look at themselves as just African. They look at themselves as Arab Africans. There are white people that are African that are living in Africa, and they don't look at themselves as black just because they're African. I understand what you guys try to say, that black is a cultural thing that's made up in America, but you don't understand what that cultural thing is. It's global. You have dark skin and you have kinky hair, you're black. You could try whatever, it don't matter what country you're from. And the thing is that we should be attached to this as black people because it brings us together across the whole globe. That's what these people have over us. The Europeans, they are all Europeans. They don't say, oh, we're not that. They count in as white across the whole globe. We got the Dominicans saying they don't want to be black. We got Africans talking about they're not black. All these people saying they're not black. But bro, bringing us together is all it's about. It doesn't matter what country you're from. If you have dark skin, you have kinky hair, you're black. And we should be together. We should build trade between Africa and here. We should build businesses. We should stop thinking of each other as different. It's goofy. When Kamala won the District of Attorney of California, did she say she was black? I don't fucking know. Why the fuck does it matter? She's both. She went to a black college. I know that. She went to an all-black school. Why would she go to an all-black school if she felt as though she was Indian? That's goofy. Like, she went to an all-black, or she has an all-black alma mater that she puts a lot of time and work in. So obviously she was connected with her black side. She grew up in Jamaica. She lived in Jamaica. They went down there and talked to her people. So what the fuck are y'all talking about? She could be, there could be two things, dog. You could be the first Indian and still be black. She's half and half, you idiot. Damn, y'all dumb, man. Y'all some stupid people, dog. Yes, she's still Indian. She can say, I am the first person that's half Indian or Indian to win. She's Indian. Her people are Indian. You know, you could be two different things at the same time. Woo. Africans are black like African American, like Jamaican, like Haitian. That's where I'm at, my bro. Can you do me a favor? Can you drop in the videos from my Mac into Restream? Healthcare is not free. It is a service, not a right. What right do Americans pay for it? Yeah, we're the only country in the world that thinks like this. We're idiots. We already pay for Medicare, Medicaid, all of those things already coming out of our check. Why would we not make it Medicare for all, for everyone can get health care? No, it's not free. We're going to pay for it. That's what it's, we've been paying for it. That's what we pay out of our check all the time. Yeah, man. Her culture, you can listen to how she speaks, that she's her vernacular. You could tell that she's grown up in the black culture in America. You can just tell. And then, you know, these people use this to make sure that she lose. Oh, she's not black. And a lot of black people fell for that shit too. And I think in America, we have an issue with a woman becoming the president. We just can't fathom that. We have an issue with it. And I think it's a problem that we're not going to fix in the near future. We're one of the only first world countries that has not had a woman as the leader of the country. And it's something that we definitely have a problem with. What is the black experience and how does that make you black? How do you, dog? Boy, y'all silly, man. If you grow up in Ireland, no matter what color you are, and you grow up around Irish culture, you're Irish. Your whole culture is Irish. Everything you grew up about is Irish. You're Irish. If you grow up in America around black culture and you're half black, you can identify with your black side and your Indian side, especially if you grew up in the culture and you connect with the culture. You don't even have to grow up in it. You are what you are biologically. So it's not a situation where you can just, well, I'm anything I want to be. You can grow up around white people in America. That doesn't make you, it's not going to make you white, even though a lot of people think so. White people go to black colleges. What difference does that make? Oh, man. Yeah, a small percentage do go to black colleges. That is real. But my point was, she wouldn't have went to an all black college when she had her options to go to anywhere she wanted to, and she decided to go to the black college. I don't understand what your question is. We're asking, is she black? When we look at her history and everything she's done it culturally around black people. So I'm not sure what the question is, man. It's pretty simple. Pretty fucking simple. I absolutely grew up in Los Angeles, California, and the Nickerson Garden projects. Now I live in Las Vegas. Okay, that's dope. Uh, it's he said he grew up in Los Angeles.
Roundup.
Oh, is she messing with because she's messing with stuff? Hold on. You don't have to be. Hold on. Give me one. Go to a quick break. You don't have to be all
Hey y'all, it's Mama Soul's Fish and Chicken, Habari Entertainment sponsor. Let's go get it.
Man, this Mama Soul's Fish and Chicken. I ain't never had a piece of fish that tastes so good. I'm not a shrimp person, but they fried shrimps. It's so good. It's so good. The dressing and the greens and the cornbread.
All right. Let's keep the discussion going now. So we're talking about this Medicare fraud that's going on in California and happened in Minnesota, but people are bringing in their topics that they want to talk about, like always. But anyway, what makes people even more skeptical is the pattern we're starting to see from this administration when it comes to Medicaid and when it comes to healthcare fraud investigations. Nobody in the world is saying that fraud doesn't fucking exist. Fraud absolutely exists in healthcare and exists in Medicare. It exists in Medicaid. It exists in private insurance. We've seen fake billing schemes, ghost patients, inflated reimbursement scams, and corporate operators for decades. But normally fraud investigations are targeted. They go after the people that they need to go after. You investigate the providers you believe are breaking the law. You gather evidence, you build your case, you prosecute. That's the normal way of doing things. Individuals or organizations, that's how this is supposed to work. What's raising eyebrows and it makes people really look at this is the scale that the broadness of these actions that the Trump administration is putting forward. They didn't just freeze California funds, they also withheld hundreds of millions from Minnesota. Then they launched a nationwide anti-fraud task force. Then they announced a 6-month moratorium on new Medicare enrollments for hospice and home care providers across the country. A lot of people depend on that money. A lot of people take care of their grandparents and they depend on that money. And what are they doing? And when the government moves this aggressively, people naturally begin wondering whether this is truly about protecting taxpayer dollars or just creating political headlines about government waste, blue state fraud, especially because California has become one of Trump's main states he go after. His favorite political target is California and Minnesota. And we also have to talk about credibility here, man, because critics are pointing to something very important that happened earlier this year involving CMS and New York in April. The agency reportedly admitted it used flawed or inaccurate data during another fraud probe involving Medicaid concerns. Fraudulent data, something that you've been hearing a lot. As the Supreme Court made a decision to take away a black district using flawed data. This is something that is happening all the time. But these Medicaid concerns, that matters, man, because once the public catches government agencies using shaky numbers, every future accusation gets questioned. Now people start asking, are these investigations evidence driven? Or are agencies working backwards from political conclusions? That skepticism is fair when it comes to this Trump administration. And let's be honest, healthcare fraud is one of those political useful topics because nobody wants to appear soft on fraud. If you question the administration tactics, Suddenly people try to frame you as defending corruption. But questioning government power is not defending fraud. That's the key distinction. You can support anti-fraud enforcement while also asking whether innocent providers and vulnerable patients are getting caught in the crossfire. And here's the thing people are noticing. This administration keeps emphasizing rapidly escalating costs as justification for the freeze. But California argues that these costs are rising because more people are using in-home support programs instead of expensive institutional care facilities. Mm-hmm. And economically, that argument actually makes sense. Keeping people out of the home is often cheaper than full-time nursing care. Families all usually prefer it, patiently usually prefer it. So growth alone doesn't automatically equal fraud. Sometimes growth simply means more people are using these services.
Mm-hmm. It certainly does.
Yeah.
And politically, this becomes explosive because Democrats are already calling out the election interference through different healthcare policies. Mm-hmm. Right? They're saying that the administration is weaponizing federal funding pressure against the blue states while also trying to build a campaign narrative around government corruption and abuse. Now, whether people agree with this or not is totally up to them, but the optics are definitely intense here. You have JD Vance now involved. You have Dr. Oz involved. You have aggressive rhetoric about fraud happening. You have California being targeted. And now you have vulnerable populations potentially being affected. That combination guarantees political warfare. And let's also remember something important about hospice and home health care providers here. Not all providers are from giant corporations. Some of them are small operations and some of them are community-based organizations. And some serve the immigrant communities while others serve low-income residents or rural populations. So when broad freezes and moratoriums happen, smaller providers are often suffering first.
Yeah.
That's because when you don't have the financial cushion that most of these larger corporations have, those smaller institutions are going to close, basically.
Right.
So the investigations and payment delays are going to happen with this moratorium that Trump is trying to put forward.
Right.
Even if fraud does exist somewhere in the system, broad enforcement actions can unintentionally crush legitimate providers too. That's a big deal here because healthcare experts are already warning about the sweeping punishments instead of the precision investigations that they're supposed to be doing.
Right. And it's yeah, I have to agree, man. Mom Donnie is doing a great job. I love everything he's doing when it comes to the taxes. He's figured out a way to lower the deficit, something Republicans just can't figure out ever. Clinton was the last person to have a deficit, and a surplus. And since Republicans came into the office, nothing but trash, man. Nothing but trash. They never can fill out. They love talking about it when they get out of office. Oh, the debt. As soon as they get in, now what's that? What is that? Well, I don't know what that is. They just start spending money like idiots. Trillions of dollars we went into the hole since Trump has came into office. Mom Donnie has figured it out in months. Made some good investments. Got rid of some things that wasn't needed. Found fraud. Found overspending that was going on. Great ideas, man. Raise taxes on people who are not going to be hurt by the taxes being raised. You got a home that's worth over, well, I think it was 10 million, and it's your summer home, and we're gonna tax you on that. He's great, doing great, man. I really, 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 man. That's what you do, because the Republicans, it's going to be a jihadist, and he's this, he's that. Like, man, get out of here, man. He's doing a great job, and I love what he's doing. So now we're gonna talk a little bit more about this Medicare, but the administration is escalating this nationally, man. So your state may be next, where your Medicaid is shut off. People who are looking for operations, they're doing the things that they need to keep themselves healthy, and the Trump administration is just shutting down the entire system. Department of Health and Human Services reportedly sent letters to attorneys generals in all 50 states, basically warning them to aggressively investigate Medicaid fraud or risk losing federal dollars. That's a huge signal, because now states are under pressure to prove they're policing healthcare spending aggressively. Enough to satisfy Washington, and at any time federal money becomes conditional on political alignment or aggressive enforcement quotas, people start worrying about overreach. What's going on? Could legitimate claims start getting denied? Yes. Could providers become afraid to serve high-risk patients? Yes. Could states over police healthcare systems just to avoid federal retaliation? Definitely. These are real concerns, and nobody is saying fraud should be ignored. Definitely not. But you can't hurt everyone because some people are fraudsters. And history teaches us that governments sometimes use fraud prevention as justification for expanding control, cutting services, or reshaping political narratives. They don't want to pay for your health care. Now, it's okay that the Pentagon has overspent. They can't find millions and billions of dollars when it comes to their budget all the time. They've had an issue with their budget for decades. They can't say what money is coming from where. They don't know. Every time they do an audit, they fucking fail. They fail every time. No one knows where the money is at. But let's go mess with Medicaid. But we're not going to do anything or say anything about the Pentagon. Let's give them more money.
Right.
And it has been proven over and over and over again that when it comes to audits and when it comes to their finances, they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. But let's ignore them and let's go attack Medicaid and Medicare and the poor people trying to get health care. That's why people are skeptical, man. Especially when healthcare access is involved.
Exactly.
Every time.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, the situation is bigger than just California alone. This is becoming a national battle over whether healthcare funding, federal authority, and state autonomy, and trust in the government investigations. And honestly, Americans are pretty exhausted from watching this battle go back and forth. People are already struggling with healthcare costs, and people are already struggling to get healthcare approved. Families are already losing support systems for elderly relatives and their disabled loved ones. So when politicians start fighting over billions of dollars tied directly to patient care, regular people get nervous fast. Because that's you, that's me, that's your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa. Someone in your family is using these services.
That's real.
Because while Washington argues that fraud exists, we know it does. It exists across the board in all industries. And politics and real lives, they're left hanging in the balance.
Yeah, man. It's sad. It's sad. But the Trump administration, they want to play games with your health care. They want to play games with everybody's Medicaid. And that's the conversation people need to have. Honestly, they need to talk about this. They need to really look at what's going on, man. Stop ignoring what this administration is doing.
Right.
They talked about the fraud in Minnesota. They left Minnesota, and I didn't see one person get arrested.
Not one.
How do you say it's fraud? You stop all Medicaid, all everything, every claim is stopped. And you say it's so much fraud, but we still haven't seen one person arrested. How does that work? If there's fraud, fucking prove it. Prosecute it. Expose it. But if broad freezes and moratoriums are being used politically or recklessly The public deserve transparency because healthcare systems are far too fucking important to be playing political theater. And right now, a lot of Americans are looking at this situation and they're like, man, what the fuck? They're wondering whether vulnerable people are going to become collateral damage in a much larger political war between Trump and the fucking Democratic states.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You're right. So let us know what you think in our comment section here. Is this a legitimate anti-fraud crackdown, or is this just political targeting disguised as accountability?
Yeah, man. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you do not miss any Habari live discussions or interviews. Just make sure you hit us up, man, and follow what's going on. Habari Live News our way, like always. So you got any top stories that you want to do?
I had a few.
All right, we're gonna go into the top stories for the week from Iesha. Go ahead and let us know what you got.
Yeah, a lot happened this week, but this is what caught my eye the most. First up, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are taking aim at one of Washington's most criticized political standoffs. Senators have approved a measure that would withhold members of Congress's pay during a federal government shutdown.
Okay.
So the supporters are saying that the proposal is designed to pressure lawmakers and to reach budget agreements faster than they're doing, and to avoid disruptions that leave federal workers being unpaid and government services being delayed. While the measure now heads to the House for further consideration, we'll see what the House does on their end with
It's gonna fail.
I believe it is too. So we'll just see what happens.
They are not going to do anything that's connected to their paychecks. Now, if it's anyone else paychecks, that's fine. But if it's their pay, you heard Mike Johnson. I think we're gonna play that video later of him saying, "Hey, we need insider trading for we can make money." You know, these guys are not going to take any losses, man. And so this bill, it sounds good, but I think it's doomed to fail. They're not. There's nowhere in the world they're going to put any connections or anything that they feel as though they would get hurt and not get paid. It's no way. They're not going to be held accountable in that way.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another thing that took me by surprise this week. In Colorado, Governor Jared Polis has commuted the prison sentence of Tina Peters, who's a former county clerk and ally of Donald Trump, who was also convicted in connection to the voting machine tampering following the 2020 election. Peters had become a prominent figure among election conspiracy activists after she was accused of helping unauthorized individuals access sensitive election equipment. Now, the governor's decision is already drawing sharp reactions from both supporters and the critics across the political spectrum. For me, I just think it shouldn't have been commuted. She was wrong. She tampered with the machines. She helped other people access those machines and tamper with them. So,
I mean, this is common when it comes to Donald Trump and his people. You know, if you're cool with Trump, he's going to get you out of jail.
Yep.
It doesn't matter the crime. It doesn't matter what you did. He's going to get you out. And he's kept to his word. You know, the party of law and order.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man, y'all can drop that shit.
Right.
Because y'all don't give a fuck about law or order
At all.
And everything you're doing is removing convicted felons of their consequences and accountability that they supposed to be held to. And they had access to people's money, access to voting machines, and these people took advantage. And then they don't pay the price.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just disgusting, man. And they want to hold everyone else accountable. They want everyone else fired. They want everybody else in jail and locked up except them. And it's disgusting.
Yeah, they do. And along the southern border, the Trump administration is escalating its immigration enforcement efforts through the courts. The federal officials have filed a lawsuit against a Catholic diocese seeking to seize church-owned land near El Paso for construction related to the border barrier project that Basically, they're just saying that they want to run a border wall through. The administration argues that the land is necessary for national security and its border operations, while the church leaders are saying that the lawsuit infringes on religious and humanitarian work taking place in that particular area. How's the federal government going to seize land from a church?
I mean, this isn't new. The federal government has been a piece of shit when it comes to land for centuries. They snatched all the natives' land, took all their land from them.
They did.
This is something that's been going on for forever. They love taking the land of innocent people who work their ass off to get the little land that they have, and they just want to take it to do whatever the fuck they want to. You know, and Trump, you know, he's another person who he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the people that they're helping locally. He doesn't care about the people that's struggling that the church is trying to give access to. He doesn't care. So he's gonna do whatever he can to make it as worse, as bad as possible, because this is the person he is. So I don't know, man. It's pretty disgusting, but hopefully they win and they can keep their fucking land. The American government can't just say, "Oh, well, we need this land," and just take it,
right,
and do what they want to, and put a wall across this man's land because he feel like it.
I mean, that seems to be what Trump's move is when he's doing a lot of things, is basically just trying to take over whatever he wants to take over and say it's his and put his name on it.
Yep, I agree with you. What is that? Aaron? I think it's Aaron. It's a different way to spell Aaron. But yeah, man, causing as much pain and destruction. That's what they do. And they don't feel any regret until that pain knocks on their door. They can't afford gas. They can't afford groceries. Then it's, oh, maybe I made a mistake. I thought he was just going to attack Mexican and black people.
Right.
When it comes to them, then it's, oh my God, this is bad. I only wanted all of them to suffer. They want other people to suffer. That's their whole thing. That's their whole agenda. Make people suffer. It makes them feel good.
While filling their pockets.
Right. That's all. All right, man. So we're going to talk more about the Voting Rights Act, man, and how it's been under attack by the Republicans and the South. And you know how, everybody, the Republicans love to bring up, oh, well, Democrats do gerrymandering too, blah, 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 blah. Y'all have been a gerrymandering expert since 1890. Experts. You're the best at it. Yeah, the Democrats have gerrymandered in their states also. But dog, the amount of power that the Republicans have in this country, when it comes to representation, they should not have the many areas that they have. But they have the whole middle of the country, pretty much, all the way from the north to the south. When you're talking about the Dakotas, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, you got Oklahoma, the whole South, Texas. You guys have everything, and it's all royal red, rural red everywhere, and it's just crazy, man. And they just trying to take even more power, to removing the power from black areas and black locations. Supreme Court, they opened the door to massive Southern redistricting, and the South has ran to take away black representation. This is something they never wanted black people to have in the first place. Equal opportunity, not equal outcomes. I don't know what outcomes have to do with gerrymandering and taking people's districts away. But it's not fair. People should be able to vote in who they want to vote in. I heard of guys, well, they're just going to vote in black people. They should be able to vote in who the fuck they want to. If the dude is white that runs the district, who cares? At least he aligns with what those people want in their neighborhood, not someone who doesn't live there and doesn't give two fucks about Memphis or any neighborhoods in Orange Mound or any other neighborhoods in Memphis. They don't care about that fucking place. And to put them in the districts of people who could give two fucks if Memphis blows up tomorrow.
Right.
And yeah, everybody's okay with it. It's insane, man. Let's ask the little boys from California. What are you talking about, man? Have you heard about the thousands of little boys? Yeah, I would think California does have thousands of little boys and girls. Oh man. Did you hear about the accusations of Trump's in the Epstein files? What he did to some little girl? You hear about those accusations that was put in the files? What he did to those little girls and what he did to that girl? Have you heard about that? I know you guys don't like to talk about your daddy and what he's done. Just love to point the fingers at everyone else. But this is disgusting stuff, man. But this is what we have to deal with today. We need to talk about what may become one of the biggest political power shifts in modern American history. Because while most Americans are distracted by campaign headlines, celebrity drama, and social media chaos, what about what Trump did in the Epstein files? Why don't you want to focus on that? He's the president. Why is he not held to the highest degree of accountability? You want to talk about California? Why aren't you guys worried about Trump? I don't get it. He was in the files with rape allegations. He has allegations and accusations everywhere. Yeah, I do know why it's called accusations, but you guys, anything that happens to anybody else as a Democrat, y'all call them guilty first. Instantly guilty. Lock them up is what y'all scream. Yeah, the SPLC, the Democrats are doing it. Y'all already saying they're guilty. But why, when it comes to his accusations, oh, they're just accusations. Like, man, y'all are the biggest hypocrites ever. The South never paid for their treachery. Yep. Not paying. Yep. Exactly, Zach. That is real shit right there. The South never paid the price for everything they did during the Civil War. All the trading they did, everything that they did not pay the price. In fact, since Lincoln died, the person who came up as president, they made sure that the South didn't pay one price. They did everything to make sure the South was cool. They made the traitors heroes. They tried to change the story. The South was able to get together and put the KKK together and run around and kill black people across the South. The protection from the troops that was there from the Union was removed. And ever since then, it's been downhill in the South, across the South in America. Mm-hmm. I can't be sued for slander, my guy, because I didn't say he did it. I said accusations. So goofy, dog. I said he's accused. I didn't say he did anything. He was accused. And you guys love accusations when it's anywhere else. You're all over it.
Well, how about the accusations from Jeannie Carroll where he had to pay $5 million for that, and then the court turned around and made him pay an additional $83 million for defamation in relations to that accusation case?
Brooklyn, you back with the same dumb shit, huh? Yes, the KKK used to be Democrats. Today, those states vote Republican. I mean, it's really, really dumb, and you guys really need to read. South, who is taking away black representation right now, bringing back Jim Crow 2.0, all Republican states that are removing black power. You can't blame the Dixie Democrats for the racist shit you're doing today. Mm-hmm. How would Trump be in jail if Trump is the person who is running the FBI and the DOJ?
Right.
How could
Trump
he get
ran for president so he could avoid jail time.
He's not in jail because he is the person in charge. Yeah, judge stopped. He didn't say that he never have to pay E. Jean the dime.
He just paused it.
He paused it. That's all. She has owned that money, and his ass is going to have to pay.
Mm-hmm. Now he still has to pay a deposit in order to get this pause to go through.
Yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of, especially across the South, they're very slow across the South. A lot of them. I've only met black racists I've never met a.
Well, congratulations. Look in the mirror. You met yourself.
You said I've only met black racists.
While spewing racist shit.
Oh man, whatever, G. What is the name of the black racist group that you ran into? What white people did they hurt, and what did they do to hurt white people? Let me know. Let me know. So it's going to be a major shift in power in modern American history that we're seeing right now, because while most Americans are distracted by campaign headlines, celebrity drama, and social media chaos, a major Supreme Court ruling has quietly opened the floodgates for a massive nationwide redistricting movement that could reshape Congress, local governments, and black political power for the next decade. The bullshit case of Louisiana versus Callais has had implications that has really truly hurt the black community across the South. And according to critics, this decision effectively guts one of the most important protections inside of the Voting Rights Act, which was Martin Luther King's number one legislation that he led and marched for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Republicans love to talk about how that Martin Luther King was a Republican and the Democrats were the one that was against the Voting Rights Act and all this other stupid shit that they love to say, while they take away everything black that they can think of. They hate DEI. They hate diversity. They hate Voting Rights Act. They hate the power that black people have, and small power, because we don't have much. Now, let's be clear, from the beginning, the supporters of this ruling argue that states should not be forced to use race as the primary factor of drawing district maps. Conservatives on the court frame this as restoring constitutional neutrality and limiting race-conscious government actions. But opponents see something much darker happening. They believe this ruling gives Republicans-controlled states a green light to aggressively redraw maps in ways that weaken black power across the South, and the political consequences could be enormous. We're talking about potentially eliminating multiple majority black congressional districts, about changing local governments, school boards, county commissions, state legislations, even the balance of power in Congress itself. Timing is not accidental. Donald Trump asked all the states to give him more seats because he feels like he's about to lose in the midterms. So he feels if he gets more seats, then they have a better chance of keeping their majority.
Exactly. But what makes this decision, the situation so explosive, is how coordinated the response has been since the ruling came down. Almost immediately after the Supreme Court's decision, several Southern Republican-led states began moving to aggressively redraw their districts. Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, and even North Carolina. And they stated the obvious goal in many of these states is to reduce the number of districts where black voters have enough concentrated voting strength to elect candidates of their choice. Basically, critics are calling this vote dilution, where supporters calling it race neutral redistricting. But regardless of which side people agree with politically, the reality is that the maps are changing pretty fast.
Yeah, man. It's pretty ridiculous, man. It's pretty ridiculous. We steady getting all these things overturned. We're steady losing the little bit of black voting power that we had, and it's ridiculous to see, man. It's really ridiculous. And a lot of people are happy, you know. They're saying things like, "Oh, voting shouldn't matter about race," and all this stupid stuff they're saying. But when you have a segregated country and you have black people living in areas that are called black areas, they should have representation of their community. And that's all it is, man. That's all it is. They should have the power to be able to vote in people in their community who are going to care about their community and what happens there. That's all this is about, man. Nothing more. Everybody want to make it a big deal and try to make it about racism and these things like this, but it's just about representation. Voting shouldn't be done by race. That's not how it's going. You calling people an idiot, and you don't even understand what I just said. You have segregated areas that are black towns, black cities. With all of those people on top of each other, they should be able to vote in people that will represent their area. Mm-hmm. If America wasn't segregated and there wasn't black areas and white areas, then I would not say that this is needed. If everybody was living together. But that's not the way America is. America is a very segregated country. Y'all can say that I'm keeping the racism alive, but segregation is still normal.
Right.
There are black areas. Memphis is a black city. There are black neighborhoods. Let's stop acting like these things don't exist because it hurts your racism argument. They exist. They exist, man. So you can stop the nonsense. Stop talking like racism doesn't fucking exist. It exists. I know it doesn't help your argument, but it's here. What can you do? Now I wish we lived in a post-racial America. I wish racism wasn't talked about. I wish that our votes wouldn't be taken away or our power wouldn't be taken away. I wish. Because if that was happening, then we wouldn't have to talk about these things. Black neighborhoods are not all for Democrats. 90% of black women vote Democrat. 85% of black men vote Democrat. So yes, it's for the Democrats. And whatever they want to vote. If they want to vote Republican, they can do that. But you can't you can't dilute their districts and take their power away and put them in white districts. So they don't have any power to be able to make decisions over their areas. And that's what's going on. They're diluting their vote so they won't have be able to say anything or make any changes where they have things going on. The strongholds are perverted and insidious and dramatically orchestrated, and the Republicans just got the upper hand now and agreed to the onset of this issue. Man, Republicans have been gerrymandering since slavery was removed. They have been gerrymandering since Reconstruction. They've been cheating in the South forever. They're hoping that this is going to work because the South is pretty much all Republican. How do you think they're drawing these districts? They're using if you voted Republican or you voted Democrat, and what areas voted more red and more blue. And if you're a blue area, they're going to try their best to rip you apart so you can't vote in someone blue.
Right.
They were all. How can the Dems redistrict states that they don't have control of? How does that sound? Like, yeah, y'all just say anything, dog. I brought up slavery because Reconstruction is the time that we saw the South start using all type of tactics to keep people from voting, and that is what Martin Luther King marched for, to make sure that black people had representation across the South. I know you guys, you love to talk about his content of character, not color of his skin, for you can use the color of their skin to fucking keep people down. Mm-hmm. How can Democrats gerrymander Republican states? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. But anyway, they're trying to kill. I don't know where this was at.
That's true. But in Alabama, the court overturned earlier lower court decisions that had forced the state to create a second black majority district. Governor Kay Ivey quickly announced the special election plans tied to restoring a map with only one majority black district. And when you move to Tennessee, where lawmakers are completely dismantled Memphis's majority black district by splitting the city into multiple heavily white districts, that strategy has a name. It's called cracking. And historically, cracking has been one of the most controversial tools in American redistricting politics.
Yeah, man. That name is kind of crazy.
It is.
We know what they call cracking nowadays.
Look, I saw that and was like, hold on, wait.
But anyway.
Are we sure?
You guys, blacks were conservative forever. I don't think you know what you're talking about.
They don't.
Black people were not conservatives. Republicans were not conservatives. They were partially liberal. They were more of a in the middle group before 1960. See, the problem with Republicans and Democrats back in the day was half of the Republicans were racist, half the Republicans weren't. Mm-hmm. In the Democratic Party, most of the Democrats were racist, some of them weren't. So you had black people voting Democrat, some voting Republican. It wasn't down the middle like that because it was definitely a situation where Republicans had some liberals on there and they had some conservatives in their group. So it wasn't a situation where it is now, where Republicans are fully conservatives and Democrats are fully liberal. That's not the way that worked. Who removed slavery? Liberals. People with liberal, progressive mind state remove slavery. Not people with conservative mind state who want to conserve slavery. And that's the reason why we went to the war, because the conservatives wanted to conserve the institution of slavery. Lincoln would be a Democrat today, and you all will be calling him a libtard. He would not be a part of your group, because your group is the group that hates everyone that doesn't look like you. He would be a Democrat today because his mind state was what you would call progressive. To get rid of something like slavery, it takes a progressive idea, not a conservative one. Because a conservative idea only wants to conserve the way things are, take them back to the way they're supposed to be. So no, you are not the party that you think you are. You love to just talk about what you did in the 1800s, when today everything you do is racist. Real history, the first Republican president was Abraham Lincoln. The Democrats are the party. Oh my God, y'all fucking retarded, dog. Abraham Lincoln, like I just said, would be a liberal today, a progressive liberal. To want to change and progress the country, something that Republicans do not believe in. They do not believe in change. They believe in conserving. That's why they're called conservatives. They wanted to conserve slavery, so we had to go to a war because the progressives wanted to change that. God damn, y'all dumb. Yeah, I don't know history. You're sitting here making up shit, talking about
right.
The Democrats are the racists. When the Democrats used to be called the Dixie Democrats, and the Dixie South voted for them, and the Dixie South votes Republican today. The SPLC is not in a political group. They are barred from being political. So for you to say that the Democrats are the SPLC, it's 100% wrong. They never pick sides. They are not with Republicans or Democrats. They are supposed to be doing their work to go after hate groups, which has been a problem in this country from the South
for a long time,
since 1865. Conservatives, the South created the KKK. The South used the KKK to keep people from voting. The South have used these powers since Reconstruction to keep black people out of power. like I said, the SPLC is not a Democrat group. They are neutral. They do not co-sign to any political party. You to keep saying that the SPLC is Democrats is 100% incorrect. They never, ever, ever say that they're with one group or the other. So you are wrong. The Democrats are still saying don't take our indentured servants, aka the legal aliens, and telling black people they're not smart enough to get an ID. God damn, you're dumb. Whew. No Democrat has told black people they're not smart enough to get an ID, because you have to have an ID for pretty much everything in this country. Everything. You have to have an ID to get drinks. You have to get an ID to get into most places, to rent a car, hotel, to get an apartment, to get a home, to rent a home. Everything you need a fucking ID.
To open a bank account.
So what the fuck are you talking about? Everybody needs an ID in this fucking country. Y'all are dumb as fuck, man. They're saying that black people won't have their fucking birth certificate to be able to prove that they were born here. Everybody has an ID. We're saying you shouldn't have to prove that you are a citizen to vote. That's
but here's
all.
the thing, though. In order to even obtain your ID in America, you have to have proof
that you're a citizen.
Definitely. So you have to have either your birth certificate,
Social Security,
or your Social Security card, or proof of residency.
Definitely. You have to have proof of residency
in order to even obtain an ID card. Mm-hmm. So guess what? All those black people do got their birth certificate.
No, man, you idiot. SRXR, you're so fucking dumb. The Democrat Party was the South. The South created the KKK. Stop trying to use words and try to confuse people. Oh, it was the Democrats. You're dumb. It comes from the South. The South created the KKK.
By way of the Dixie Democrats, which switched parties in like the 1960s.
Hey, they don't care, man. So non-citizens can vote. Yeah, non-citizens can vote. Yeah, you're right. Why would a non-citizen want to vote? What person would want to vote and go to jail for committing fraud on voting? Who would do that? Who's going to jail for that dumb shit?
The one lady that did it with her dog.
And they were what? Republicans.
Republican.
So, man, and this is where the deeper concern comes in. No, you do need them.
A real ID just means that you have a star on your ID that allows you to be able to travel in the country.
But he's talking about you need a birth certificate to get one. Yes, you do need a birth certificate for a real ID. You do. Deeper concerns comes in. For decades, Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act was one of the main legal protections for minorities and for our communities. This challenge has given us discriminatory maps, a map that is diluted minority voting. It's taken our strength to the point where communities can no longer realistically elect preferred candidates. Federal courts could intervene. That's what made the Voting Rights Act so powerful after the Civil Rights Movement. But critics say the Supreme Court has now fundamentally weakened Martin Luther King's top legislation that he wanted to get passed. Mm-hmm. And remember, this is not happening in isolation. Over the last decade, we've already seen the court weaken portions of the Voting Rights Act multiple times as Republicans are attacking Martin Luther King and everything that he fought for. Mm-hmm. While they sit around and telling us, well, the Democrats started the KKK, as they tear apart what he fought for. And they're trying to tell us that they're not the racists. This is multiple times they've done this now. Shelby County decision back in 2013 removed federal pre-clearance requirements for states with histories of discrimination.
Or Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act.
Right. That alone dramatically changed voting rights enforcement nationwide. Now with Louisiana's versus Callais, opponents believe Section 2 itself has been hollowed out. The Republicans have done what they wanted to do. Just like Trump said, the Civil Rights Act hurt white people. It hurt white people, and they had to give up some of their power, and that's not fair. That's not fair to them. And the concern from civil rights organizations is that states are interpreting this ruling as permission to aggressively redraw political power maps before the 2026 and 2028 elections. The Congressional Black Caucus could be hit hard by this. Some projections suggest nearly 1/3 of Black Caucus seats could become vulnerable. Depending on how far these maps go, that is going to be massive for the Black community, as we will lose most of the Black Caucus. Because representation matters, man, not just symbolically, but politically, legislatively. Who gets elected determines policy priorities, committee leadership, funding battles, and national narratives.
National narratives. And what's really important here is understanding that it doesn't just stop at Congress. That's the part that many people are missing today. If the states can redraw congressional districts this aggressively, local governments may start following that same playbook. County commissions, school boards, city councils, state legislatures, and critics are fearing that Black political influence could be diluted at every level of government. And supporters of the ruling are responding by saying that districts should represent geography and population, not race. But that's the core ideological divide here. One side says that race-conscious protections are necessary because America's history of discrimination never magically just disappeared. The other side says that race-conscious districting itself creates constitutional problems and political favoritism. But the debate has now exploded nationwide. And because the Supreme Court ruling sets a new legal standard, lower federal courts may now have limited ability to stop these new maps when civil rights groups challenge them. And that's why organizations like the ACLU and the NAACP's Legal Defense Fund are filing emergency lawsuits underneath the 14th and 15th Amendments instead. But they're trying to argue that the intentional discrimination directly because of Section 2 protections have become harder to use after this ruling. Remember, he just said that one of the key protections was Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act, where states had to go to the Supreme Court in order to get a pre-clearance to redraw their districts because those states have had a history of discrimination against Black people.
Right. Exactly, picking girl. They help us out. They love to be in here crying, but they definitely help us out with views. So whatever, we don't even care. It's just crazy. This is what they do. They just come in and just spew racism and nonsense, while at the same time saying that they're not racist.
Right.
They say the most racist shit ever. They're ridiculous people, man. You can't take them serious.
Mm-hmm.
They're too weak to stand on their own, too. If you're racist, stand on that. Why do you have to be fake? Why can't you just be real? Oh, Martin Luther King, he hated the Democrats. Right. While the Republicans today are tearing apart his legislation that he wanted to put in place.
Right.
But you want to say some stupid shit like, oh, he hated the Democrats. Like, y'all are dumb as fuck, dog. We're used to Habari and his white wife. Black supremacy. She's not white.
But see, that's the funny thing. They love to say I'm white.
Right.
But then a white motherfucker would never say I'm white.
Right.
Because the color of my skin.
Man, fuck out of here. 100 or so years ago or better, I can understand where something like this might be useful. But in today's election, there's no way that nobody can cast a ballot if they didn't want to. What? I'm not sure. Whatever, man. But politically, this is much a part of the larger Republican strategy. The battle over the House of Representatives, Republicans believe aggressive redistricting can help unlock congressional advantages ahead of the future elections. Democrats are calling it a coordinated dismantling of black political power. And somewhere in the middle, all of this are millions of voters trying to understand whether their communities are about to lose influence overnight because maps matter more than most Americans really realize.
Mm-hmm.
A district line can determine a lot. Who's going to get that funding? It's always not the black people. Somehow, it's always not black people that's getting the funding, man, for their neighborhoods. They always look like shit because they don't get the funding. They don't get the help. They don't get the new buildings. Who gets represented? Which voices matter politically? And which communities become politically invisible? That's what happens to the black community. They're invisible.
Mm-hmm.
As the racists sit around and laugh at the crime and the black neighborhood, how it looks, because we get no funding, we get no help, we get nothing. Then they're laughing at you. And history shows that redistricting battles have always been deeply connected to race. Always. Always. And they can sit here and try their best to try to act like race hasn't been a determining factor of these districts for years, hundreds of years. Race and power is connected in America. That's not new, man. But the new is the scale and speed of how this is happening. It's fast. This is crazy. Because the Supreme Court made this decision, now every southern state is running to remove black representation.
Yep. And at the end of the day, this fight is bigger than just Democrats versus Republicans. This is really a debate about what representation should look like in America moving forward. Should race-conscious protections continue because of America's history? Or should the courts move forward towards race-neutral standards, even if minority political influence decreases? That's the national argument now. But regardless of where people stand politically, what's happening right now could reshape Americans' elections for years. And many Americans still don't even know that this battle is even happening. They're left out in Lululand somewhere where they just don't care. Or they could be like millions of Americans and just, I'm not political at all. I don't get involved in any politics.
A lot of people like that. But that's why people need to pay attention, man. Because once maps are drawn and power structures shift, reversing them can take decades. The Supreme Court may have advantaged the legal rules overnight, but the political consequences of this ruling are only beginning. And the country is about to see just how far states are willing to go with this new power.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you just watch how black people react to what's happening.
Right.
Y'all think it's going to be all the black people, they're not going to do anything. They're just going to lay down while we take all their power. They're not going to do anything. Watch.
Right. But again, let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Do you believe that these redistricting efforts are constitutional reforms or modern voter suppression?
You've had black districts for a long time and you complain about funding. What's going to change? Well, the little funding that the black community does get is because of the black representation that is fighting for the funding, the little funding that they do get. If we go back to the days of no black people in the caucus, no black people in power, then we would get zero funding. Now we get little to none, but we're going to get zero funding when these people are back in power who could give a fuck about the black neighborhood.
Right. But it's people in here like, what's their name? Let me go back in here and see. Scroll up on the comment section a little bit. There we go. May 123J. They want to say I'm melanin challenged. I got more melanin than you do.
Goofy. Democrats had a bipartisan bill to stop illegals coming into the country, but Trump stopped the Republican supporting it. So he had talked. Yeah, you're right. They did. But Joe Biden also took too long to put that together, man. I wish he would have did that a little faster. he saw that the Republicans were using immigration as a way to hit Joe Biden over the head, and he did nothing. He was supposed to do that faster, man. And I agree, it was dirty for Donald Trump and them to get the Republicans to vote against something that they care about. And that's the way it went, man. They went against it, and it died. And Joe Biden didn't do anything about immigration, but he did have 4 years, and he to me he waited to the last year. We believe you to what are you talking about? But yeah, man, it's been crazy. So redistricting is something that's gonna hurt the population. It's gonna hurt everyone, man. It's gonna hurt everyone. But make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another Habari Live discussion and what we're talking about and everything. News our way, like always. Um, so we got America breaking down, gas prices, insider trading, Epstein fallout, and Trump economy chaos. That's what we're going to talk about here in these next clips. Let's see what's the first one.
Can you take the chat down? Yeah. They said it's making it hard to read the chat section.
All right, this is gonna be Jim Jordan on gas prices. You're gonna have to bring it in, bro. The video. Should be one with Jim Jordan. Yeah. No, just bring in the first one. It's fine.
It should say 12 out of 25. It should say 9.
It's not. Oh, it's tripping, huh? It's seeing the old ones. It's not seeing the new videos. Dang.
Oh, I saw this one.
Yeah, that one's one from Wednesday.
Yeah. It's not gonna let us bring it in. That's crap. All right. Well, we ain't gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
I guess no videos this week.
Nope. But you know, I was gonna bring in the Chud the Builder video. The guy has been running around calling black people N-words, calling them chimps and chimping out and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. He finally ran into some problems. Now he's sitting in jail for attempted murder. His bail was set at $1.25 million. But, you know, the Republicans love to sit around and say that racism doesn't exist and there's no racism, this and this and that. But this guy's going around being the most racist person ever. And he's getting people giving him money, and he's doing everything he can to be racist. It's ridiculous. Trump, MAGA. Ha ha ha, you suck. Okay. Chump, yeah, Chud the Builder, man. He's ridiculous, dude. I didn't want to talk about him, but the fact that he got arrested made it a little better. And you know, it's ridiculous, dude. But you know, the writers that are giving him money and they loving everything he's doing, going around fucking with people. But it's gonna be hard for dude because he's gonna try to do self-defense. But his problem is gonna be he's made so many videos going around just fucking with people. So they are gonna do everything that they can to prove that he has been the one that has been pushing this. And it's gonna be crazy. He's gonna be in jail for a while. And I just you know what I'm saying, it's just crazy. Republicans holler and scream, There's no racism. Nobody's racist. This guy's just going around being racist, and they're giving him money, loving it. But then to tell you there's no racism, you're just making it up. Just making it up. While they're in your comment section calling you a monkey. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're a wild bunch,
the most
man.
racist bunch in America.
Racist as fuck, man. That's all they do.
But then they'll tell you they're not racist while calling you a monkey.
They're not racist. It's the Democrats. But all they do is spew racism. It's so fucking stupid. And then if you bring up something that's racist, oh, you're the racist because you're talking about it.
Or if you point out their racism.
Yeah, you're the racist because you're pointing out my racism. It's a ignorant bunch, man, that is really difficult to talk to, man. Right supporter and left supporters are chumps. That's awesome, man. So do you believe in anarchy? Is that what you believe in? Or do you just believe in bending over and letting the right or the left, whatever decisions they put in place, is going to affect you, and you have no decisions, you have nothing to do with anything that goes on. You just take whatever the fuck they're doing. That's what you are, Patrick. That's really dope, man. That's really dope. You don't make any of the decisions. You let everybody make the decisions for you. That's these people who sit around and talk about they don't vote and they're not picking a side. Doesn't make you look smart, dog. At all. Sorry, man. It doesn't make you look like the guy you think you are. This week, Killer Mike was somebody that a lot of black people have been going in on online, because Killer Mike was one of the people who were leading the charge to tell everybody to not vote for Kamala, not vote for Hillary, vote third party. You know, these guys, they love to vote third party. Don't vote that. Voting third party has put Trump in charge twice.
Mm-hmm.
Voting third party does not give us any more of a chance to win. I don't know why these cats, man. I know another guy, man, from back home. He always telling people to vote third party. Third party has never won anything, never put a dent in anything. Why would you keep voting for people who don't have a chance in hell to win? And then you just putting the fucking Republicans in charge.
Right.
And you sit there and, well, I voted third party. It doesn't make you look smart. You just look like you just gave the fucking victory to the Republicans.
Yep.
So I don't know. They think they look smart, but Killer Mike has been getting killed because he's one of those third party people. I agree with you, Kamal Mason. Not voting make you look spineless. Definitely. It definitely does, man. And a lot of people are all the left and the right, two wings of the same bird. Stupid shit they love to say.
Right.
When Republicans get in there, they're removing everything they can for black power. And then they sit there like, dude, I don't understand how you guys don't see the difference of what's going on. Craziness. Democrats say you cannot be punished for the sins of your parents. Well, you shouldn't be punished for the sins of your parents. I mean, the consequences may not avoid you, but you shouldn't be punished for things that your parents did.
I think that's more Republicans that say that because they're against reparations. Well, nobody alive now had anything to do with slavery.
Right.
But your grandparents,
great-grandparents,
great-grandparents,
they did everything they could to not give reparations.
Exactly.
They did everything they could to not do the right thing. But reparations are never going to happen. It's just a dumb conversation because we got too many people who are going to fight against it, and it's never going to happen. If we're going to get anything in this country, we're going to have to get it ourselves. Remember, DACA children brought to the country, though, no fault of their own, shouldn't be punished correctly. What? Why would they be punished? It's not their fault that their parents brought them here. Dude, whatever, dude. No, they shouldn't be punished. They were little kids. They were listening to their parents and doing what they supposed to get to the border and be like, you know what, Mom? I know I'm only 5, but I don't think that's right.
Or I know I'm only 2.
I'm going back home. Like, shut up, man. Y'all are silly. Trump is racist, but if you have a ton of money, he definitely will. He definitely will. He will overlook whatever he got to for some money.
Slavery was not millions of years ago.
Nobody thinks we're going to get money. I just said it's never going to happen. White people would never allow it. Even though they did a group of people wrong, they didn't pay those people for all of the years that they had them in bondage. You guys feel okay with that? That's fine. You feel okay with that? That's the reason why y'all want to hide history, hide the books, because y'all look like shit in the history books.
Yep.
And then you still, and your grandparents and great grandparents did the same thing, and you're like, well, we didn't have anything to do with it. Same thing your grandparents said.
Yep.
After a war, everybody died. The most death ever on them from Americans from war was the Civil War.
We didn't have anything to do with it. It wasn't us.
But they don't want anything to do with it. They don't want to help anybody. They promised 40 acres and a mule, didn't get them people shit.
Nothing.
And then to sit around with a straight face, oh, they don't deserve anything.
And the people that did get something had their land taken back,
Yeah,
back from them.
The people who did, because some people did get the 40 acres and a mule, but they took it from them. No, Irish were not slaves. They was indentured servitude. It's different, man. It's different. Their kids wasn't born into slavery. And the Irish were not slaves long here. They were slaves in England. So what you're talking about is just ridiculous. I know you Irish love to bring that up. Well, the Irish were slaves, so what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Did we go to war over Irish slavery? No. Were there any signs that said Irish can't come into this room? No. So just stop it, man. Stop the bullshit. Yeah, the Irish wasn't liked because at first the Irish wasn't looked at, or the Italians weren't looked at as white. But those days are over. They are looked at as white. The Irish, the Italian, all of those Catholics, at first white people didn't fuck with them. But now they do. They're all white. All part of the white race now. Why do black people think they can't be? Some black people think that. Some black people think that the word racism is connected to power. That to be racist, you have to have a certain amount of power. And if you don't have that power, you can't be racist. I don't believe that power has anything to do with the word racism. Racism is just hating some other group because you don't like the way they look. It has nothing to do with power. But a lot of people want to roll with that. They want to roll with that. They want to say, hey, I can't be racist. Some people say that shit. But I don't believe it's true. Black people can dislike black people. They can dislike white people, Indians. They can be racist as fuck. So to say that someone can't be racist just because they are a certain race, I don't believe that. But some people do. I'm racist. Okay. What am I doing? What you doing? What are you doing about what? I'm proud to be white, and I don't know any race or any man a damn thing. That's awesome, Sojo. Trump is racist, but also don't respect women. Yep, 100% right. Who are those leaders you speak of? And the Curl case never should have seen a courtroom. He lost. It did, and he was found guilty, liable. He lost. Y'all always trying to make excuses after y'all lose a court case.
Yep.
Systemic racism is real. Current administration and their policy is proof that's real, man. Why not learn, become a genius, and work hard? How can you learn to become a genius? Whatever, man. Yeah, man. Everybody has to work hard in this country. You can't work. You're gonna work hard in this country. You're not gonna get anything without working hard. No one hates people for what their great-great-grandfathers did. But we understand why you guys want to change the history books because of what your great-grandfathers did. And what you want to do today is act like what they did has nothing to do with what's going on today, because we never held the South responsible for what they did. You never took money and away from them and gave it to the people who were struggling. She's not white, bro. Her dad is black. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means, you dumb fuck? She's not white. I don't understand why you guys keep worrying about it so much. I thought y'all the ones that didn't care about race so much, right? That's all y'all talk about, how you don't care about race, and black people bring it up. Why are you so worried about her fucking race? You're such a fucking dumbass. I can't find anything in the Holy Bible that makes me responsible or liable for things that have been done by my ancestors. Okay, so why
did y'all use
do
the
y'all want
Bible
to try to
for
get
slavery?
rid of critical race theory? Why are you trying to change history? If you're so proud of what your people did back in the day, why is Trump trying to take down anything that brings up slavery? Like, obviously, y'all are fucking embarrassed by your fucking grandfathers and ancestors' decisions.
Embarrassed.
Embarrassed. So you want to take it down? If you don't want to take it down, stop being mad when we go around and talk about it.
Take it out the textbooks.
Stop acting like it hurts your feelings when people bring it up. Why don't you move back to fucking Europe? You don't like immigrants.
Or Germany,
you don't
or
like
Irish.
Mexicans or Native Americans. Go back to Europe and you will not have to see them. Because Mexicans are native to this land. And y'all talking about they can't be in America when this land was theirs before you motherfuckers even got here. Go back to Europe. Why did Democrats? Y'all have to be the dumbest motherfuckers ever. Yeah, Democrats are tearing down their own statues. Right. Oh my God, y'all are fucking stupid. Who was protecting those statues? Republicans. Who were trying to bring the statues back? Republicans. Who are renaming military bases after fucking Confederate right now? Republicans. Like, stop being stupid. In the 70s, you still had badly segregated areas. What are you talking about? You had schools that were segregated. They tried to bust people in schools, and white people lost their mind because they were fucking trying to bust the kids to the same schools, and they didn't want to be in schools with black people. In Boston and across America, they lost their mind because they didn't want to go to schools with black people. Like, dog, what are y'all talking about? You develop your entire life and ideology around the fact that your ancestors were slaves. Jesus Christ. What? How is my whole ideology based? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. You're dumb.
They come in and ask Ian's portions of the conversation.
Nobody said nobody. My whole ideology is not based off slavery. What are you talking about? You're dumb, dog. Mexicans are very native to the Americas. How aren't they? Mexico's been there forever. How aren't they?
The federal government bought Mexico from Mexico.
We bought Mexico. California was Mexico. Texas was Mexico.
Arizona was Mexico.
They're native to this land, you dumb fucks. Woo, boy, y'all silly, boy. Goodness gracious.
They the ones that don't know their history.
Boy, Sojo, you have issues. You should just go and jump off something, dog. You have a miserable life.
For real.
Go jump off something. Slavery has been around since the beginning of time. Why can't we just love thy neighbor? Because we have people like Soho. That's why. We have piece of shit loser people like Soho who want to call you N-words because you don't agree with their bullshit.
Right.
Here comes another racist. I don't support taking it down. Hold back to Africa. Oh, go. What the fuck? My ancestors were what? I never told anyone to go home. Trump doesn't represent all white people. So you're a Native American and you're a Trump voter?
That's pretty hilarious.
Man,
there.
You're a joke, dog. You're voting for people who hate your guts. Like, that's on your goofy ass. Be pro. They don't like you. They don't care about you. They said killing the Native Americans was manifest destiny, and they love it. They think this land is their land, made for white people, not you. Why would I? How can I let go of color when all my comments is all that they're talking about? I mean, it could easily stop being the subject because that's not what we were talking about. But my comment section, that's all they want to talk about. It's color and race. And man, you said some good things about Trump, so must be for him. The Republic of Texas fought a war with Mexico. Mexico lost, and no, that's not how it worked. We bought California, we bought the West Coast, and that was all Mexico. It wasn't a war that we just took it; we bought it. Exactly. 6 teeth people with 6 teeth supporting people with 6 yachts. Exactly. They love the rich, man. They think they're gonna give them something, or maybe they think that one day they'll be rich.
They'll get that money.
God was the first slave master. I don't believe in God. I don't do religion. So if you guys use the Bible as a way to say that slavery was okay for years,
That's
I'm
what
not with
white
it.
people did. They took out certain parts of the book and didn't want black people to read certain parts of the
Man,
Bible because they wanted them to
the
only
Bible,
read the parts that said obey your master and this and that. And
they just use the Bible verses to try to
right, that's
keep
what I'm saying.
people
To keep them in line,
right,
to keep them
right.
in check, to
But the
make sure that
book,
they didn't.
the Bible was already
Right.
torn apart to just say what they wanted to say. Like I said the other day, we know there was no such thing as Peter and John and Paul. Those
Right.
people, those names were something else. They were Middle Eastern names at one time, and they changed those names to fit their narrative of there being white people in the Middle East. You know, they changed what Jesus looks like. They make him blue eyes and brown hair. We all know he had dark eyes, dark hair, wool. But this is what they want to do. That's why I don't mess with their stupid ass religion, because it's ignorant. Ignorant religion. These people sit around saying that the Bible had slaves. Like, that's horrible. If the Bible had slaves, that's a terrible, terrible, terrible shit. Y'all must be fucking illiterate. Did all white people do that? What? It doesn't matter. We had to go to a war to end slavery. The fact that we had to go to a war to end slavery and all those people had to die just so we can end slavery shows where we were at as a country. What whitewash of it? Yeah, the Bible was whitewashed. There was no such thing as Paul and John in the Middle East.
Right. John, Matthew, Jacob.
It's common sense. Those were Middle Eastern names.
Right.
And whatever English, I think it was the King David version. They took out all those King James version. There you go. They took out all those names and put in English names for the Bible could be more English and more white and more European.
Yep.
Because the book is based off Middle Eastern principles, and all of those people were Middle Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Jesus, his name when Jesus was Joshua, and all the names that y'all don't even know were the real names of the Bible. But because the English changed it to what they wanted to change it to, we have no idea what that thing said for real. So all white people worship a gay man. I don't know what you're talking about. White people didn't exist when black people were all over. I mean, if you believe in the out of Africa theory, which is the theory that it was all people were black at first, and then we populated the earth, and then those things changed. Yeah, that's supposed to be the theory. The United States acquired Arizona in 2 stages. It gained a majority of the territory from Mexico in 1908, invaded the 3 of Guadalupe, and bought the remaining southern portion. Whatever. They bought California, they bought Arizona, they bought it. It was a purchase. I'm racist. All right, man. Those who are calling themselves Jews aren't even Jewish. I don't know, man. I just know that I don't agree with their religion. That they think that they're the chosen people. That they think that they're so much better than other people. I don't agree with it. They think that certain land is supposed to go to them because they're Jewish. I don't agree. And they're not, they won't like me. They don't like what I got to say about it, but I don't really care. The reason why we think that these people are the chosen people and we're going to make decisions because they are the chosen people of God is just crazy.
Right.
What if America was, it wouldn't make a difference. Look how they doing the Native Americans. The Native Americans are native to this land,
Right.
and they've gotten shitted on. They barely controlled. They have a lot of control in Arizona because we left them alone in a lot of places. But think about, man, the whole entire East Coast used to be filled with natives. California, Florida, Illinois with the Cahokias. Dude, it used to be natives everywhere, and they just killed and murdered them all. Manifest destiny is what they called it. Racist MAGA don't agree either, but they have to support their daddy Trump, right? What percentage of whites own slaves? It doesn't matter the
Okay.
percentage. It doesn't matter.
I can break it down for you. About 1.4% of all Americans and roughly 8% of white Americans own slaves. But you have to break it down by area. By family and household, about 25 to 30% of all white Southern families owned at least one enslaved person. By state, in states like Mississippi and South Carolina, this number was damn near 50% of all white families own slaves. So what the fuck do you keep asking this goddamn question for?
They like to say the low percentage, the
The 1.4,
right? Because
but that's globally.
That was the percentage of people who owned a lot of slaves. Most people just owned a slave for maybe just doing serving,
Right.
helping around the house. Most people didn't have a whole bunch of slaves, only the rich. But you see how you guys do everything for the rich today,
Mm-hmm.
and how y'all kiss their ass and
Yep.
all the rich.
That's all they do.
That was the same shit then. Y'all was kissing the ass of the rich, making sure that they had the option to own people, because y'all were okay with those people being owned because you felt like you were more than them. Your ancestors did. So they were okay with black people being slaves.
Oh, while actual slave ownership was the mark of,
The
like
Seminoles,
you said,
man,
the wealthy.
Seminoles, they destroyed that whole tribe. It made, man, ain't many of them people left. They fucking, man, they took out the whole tribe. And they took all of fucking Florida. They don't have any land. Like, dog, I can't even believe that you guys even try to bring it up, man.
Right.
They the way they did the natives was horrible. Horrible. You can't try to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you go group by group. Natives, you tried to burn them off the fucking genocide and kill all of them, take all their land. And when it comes to the Mexicans, you was warring with them and trying to kill them. Like, nothing that the Europeans did when they came over here was good.
Right.
Russia and Ukraine sex slaves are trafficked. Okay.
What does Russia, Ukraine, and Israel have anything to do with America?
White people don't have to, Europeans don't have to always call people victims. But maybe if y'all would stop fucking with people and burning people up and taking people land, then the people won't have to be victims all the time.
Right.
Yeah, natives are almost non-existent in the overall population. They've been wiped off the motherfucking country, man.
That's why it's important for us to honor the Navajo code talkers, because they're continuing that language for the Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
But
confusing natives for indigenous Mexicans. What? Mexicans? Okay, so if Mexico was America, how are they not indigenous to this land?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. If Arizona was Mexico, that means that they are native to this land. What is your argument? There's no confusion. There were Mexicans who were taken over by the Spanish, and they start speaking Spanish because of that. Them colonizing Mexico. That doesn't mean that they are not originally from this land just because they was colonized. They speak Spanish because they was colonized by the fucking European Spanish. They enslaved them. They removed their languages. They buried everything that had to do with their fucking people. Now they are, what you see today is the outcome of colonization. Them speaking only Spanish. Their names are Spanish. They were colonized.
Being born in America does not make you a Native American.
They are from this land. People are from this land. Spain and Europe are different. How? When Spain is in Europe, you idiot. What the fuck? Oh my God. Spain is a part of Europe, G. What are you talking about? Spain is down the street.
They don't know their geography.
Down the street from France, round the corner from the UK. That's called Europe. Mongolians, either Genghis Khan came to America in 2012, 28, but that was erased by, I don't know, man. Some people say that, but we know that the Mongolians were probably the first people to touch base in the Americas, because they say the oldest person that was found was Mongolian, and they believe that the Native Americans and the Mexicans have Mongolian blood and DNA, because they think they came across the Bering Strait and populated the Americas from there. And that's just a theory. We don't know for sure, but a lot of people think that that DNA disappeared from Asia and that DNA came to the Americas. Best look up the word native. Okay. So you blame white people for anything. No, I don't blame them for anything. I just blame them for the things that they have done throughout history. That's all.
Okay, Brooklyn 5995. Being born in America does not make you a Native American. You need to learn how to research and use Google, because while you are technically native born, Native American refers to specifically the indigenous people who were here when colonizers first arrived.
Right. And if you don't have that history,
and if you're not a descendant of any of those Native Americans, you're not a Native American. I, on the other hand, am 1% Native American. How about you?
Yeah, I'm just like under 1%. Actually, the Civil War was fought because the South was so panicked that slavery might be outlawed sometime in the future. They attacked the North. They hadn't. Slavery might have lasted. I mean, there was a lot of people from the North who were against slavery and fighting against it. So I think that it was going to end regardless. But I can't imagine what would have happened if the abolitionists and the other people who stood up against the South, if that didn't happen, where America would be today. Yes, Native Americans are indigenous.
But being born in America does not make you a Native American. You are a native born, but you are not Native American.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
There's two different meanings there.
The natives are not black. They definitely are Mongolian, though. Cannibalistic giants. Hey, man, if you believe that, man, that's on you. Yeah, some Native American tribes did hold some slaves, man. Sure did. There was some black people that had some slaves, too. What does that mean? I mean, what does that mean? The institution of slavery was held up by the American government, who was 100% white at that time. There was some ignorant black people who had some slaves. They were ignorant as fuck. There were some natives who had them. They was ignorant as fuck. But it was the times. It was the days. A lot of people just do what's other people doing. But what type of person you have to be to own other people and think anything of it is pretty crazy. The Native American was brown washed and whitewashed, and black people were told, "You're not from here." Because we're not from here. We came here on boats. There's proof of that. There's proof of the boats that we came in. There's ports in Africa that they still talk about to this day, where all the people were taken through the ports. So I mean, bro, it's hard to believe that stupid shit. You tell me where black people came to America a different route. America is the first.
Man, these people don't know anything.
Okay, bro, that sounds crazy. Yeah, man, I don't know. Lucifer the harpist. Yeah, that's a crazy theory, man. But you got to come with some more proof on your theory. Yeah, man, definitely. Native Americans, they think they were Mongolian. We don't know that for sure. But that's what the theory is. Um, the proof is in the pudding. Nah, man, you got to come with more proof than pudding, man. That's not enough. um, we don't speak as white people today are black slave owners. We speak as if racists today have to try to change the narrative, change the story of what happened in the past. And we have to sit here and fight with you guys for 2 hours to get to a place where we can agree, because you want to talk about dumb shit and talk about the Democrats or the racists like dumb shit. Like, we all have to start there with you people. You can never come to your own consensus and your own answers about what happened in the past. It has to be some bullshit. And that's the problem we have with you guys. We could talk about these things, man, but the thing is that before we can talk about them, it has to be an hour of you rehashing some bullshit that doesn't change the story or the topic from today. Mm-hmm. Oh, the Democrats started the KK, like stupid shit. Nah, I mean, we can't stop crying about racism until racism stops. I mean, we're going to keep talking about it. There's some groups in America who don't stand up like black people do. And then those groups, they get mad and they say, why are black people the ones always getting everything? Because we stand up and we fight against these racists. Everybody else just bend over and take what's being given to them and they try to become white. We're not doing that. We're going to fight for our own and we're going to stand up for us.
Right. They just want to erase history to feel good about themselves.
Yeah, man, that's all.
That's exactly what they're doing.
We're all native to the world, but that's not what we're talking about. We got Republicans today telling people that they can't be on this land, that this land was created by white people and for white people. There are people who believe that.
When they're the minority worldwide.
And they're trying to tell people that America was built for white Christians. That's what they believe. Really try to stop me from commenting.
That's easy. We can just block you.
We could if we wanted to. I don't know. You talking to us? Can you speak Democrats without bringing up race, slavery? Dude, what are you talking about? People are bringing up race in the comment section. I'm reading their comments and I'm replying to them. I'm not the one bringing up race. I'm replying to comments, you idiot. Black Americans are the most racist, stupid people alive. Blacks are everywhere and nobody else acts like you, stupid mother. Racism doesn't exist though, right?
Right.
You just put every black person in a bucket and said that black
blocked.
People it is.
There you go. You just got yourself blocked.
So dumb, man. Nobody is still alive that was still a slave. So what? Nobody that can trace their heritage to a slave would be better off in Africa. What, dog? Y'all so racist, man. Fuck, man. Fuck. Secular nation from the beginning. Whatever, dude. How can it be a secular nation from the beginning? How? Black people were already here. Yeah, man. Y'all got some crazy ass theories.
Don't
man.
they though?
Y'all to come with some truth, with some proof of this shit. No, black people love representation. And the thing is that the Democratic Party has 40% black people in power, while the Republicans have 4. 40% of the power of the Democrats are representation of black people and other people. Republicans have 0 representation for black people. That's it. And you're going to try to tell me that y'all the party of bringing in other races, as you call Mexicans and everybody else rapists and criminals? Like, it's hard to say that you're not the racist group when you talk shit about every group. You hate Mexicans, you hate immigrants, you hate black people, you hate DEI, but you're the people that are bringing everyone in. Oh, God. No, only the people that say racist shit are racist. We're not a Christian nation. You're right about that. Funny, we are also racist against Iranians and Chinese, and the ignorance is making us lose. Yeah, we are. You see how we treated the Chinese when they got here, put them in internment camps. We treated them like shit, made them work the railroads, didn't give them any money, didn't pay them anything. We don't want to be Democrats. The Democrats are the people that are giving us an opportunity to represent our neighborhoods. The Republicans aren't doing that. They're doing the opposite of that anyway. You got to talk about the problems, Gavin's father. If we don't talk about this shit, the problems will never, ever, ever, ever get solved. That's dope. What is it, Deborah? That's dope. I can trace mine to slavery, but not before slavery. But I have traced mine to slavery. Cohen couldn't join the CBC even though he represented a black district. It's probably because he was that doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right. Who enslaved and sold blacks in Africa? Well, at one time, a lot of black people enslaved other tribes and other countries and other groups. They didn't look at each other as black. They looked at each other as a different tribe in a different country. So, and also Muslims have a deep history of slavery. Europeans have a deep history of slavery. Every group has that. But America was supposed to be a new place, that we were supposed to come here and do something different. And we came over here and we brought the old world problems that we had in the olden days to America. We could have did a lot of things differently, but America just came and did the same shit. I'm from Mississippi. Not all blacks were even slaves. A lot of lies told. Most of the slaves that weren't people that weren't slaves
We're in the north.
were in the north. But yeah, there had to be some freed slaves in Mississippi, I would think. Not everyone was a slave. There were some people that were free and they were able to get their freedom. If a white man said that you were free in his on his deathbed, or he put it in writing in his will, a lot of people were freed from that. But a lot of people were also freed from that, and their family didn't go through with it. They still left them as slaves. So tell them, fact check out the history, do research. White have done everything imaginable. Yeah, man, they know. They just like to play games.
Before the Civil War, Mississippi had a very small free black population. The number peaked at 1,366 in 1840 and steady declined to 773 by 1860. In contrast, the state's enslaved population was immense, numbering nearly 437,000 by 1860.
No, Arabs trafficked them to America. Europeans trafficked them to America. I'm trying to blame y'all shit on the Arabs. The Arabs have done some horrible shit. I'm not going to sit here and say that they haven't, because they have. They've taken over a lot of areas. They've colonized a lot of areas in Africa too. And they've done colonization, enslavement, killing and murder of people who's in different religions. The Arabs they took over Egypt and all of North Africa, and they didn't do it with a smile. So I'm not going to sit here and act like the Arabs haven't done a lot of colonization and a lot of taking over land that was not theirs, and taking out a lot of people like the Berbers that lived in North Africa, and taking out their land and removing them. And now they think they own North Africa. You can't tell them shit. They believe that they are the original people of Egypt, even though we all know that they came in and took over. But you can't tell them that they're not the original Egyptians. Even though we all know that the Arabs came in later and took over Egypt, but they're going to tell you they're the native Egypt. They're no different than white people here who say that they're the native people of America, even though we all know there were already people there. Same shit, man. But we're going to go ahead and get up out of here this morning, man, this Saturday morning. We appreciate the discussion, man. We're still in the Black Holocaust. News only went through it for a little while. We're still going through it. Yeah, people are going through it, bro. Yep, you're right. Epstein is for the distraction. I agree, man. I agree. But we appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you can get the updates when we're going to be talking. And We're going to do live interviews. So if you see those live interviews, they're only 30 minutes. We'll be talking to different people. Come in and figure out the discussion and what we're talking about and add to it. We'll love it. But have a good rest of your day, man. Habari Ghani, news our way. Peace.
Holla, holla.
Thanks for watching another episode of Habari Live. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and get updates on news, the podcast, and more. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And don't forget to visit www.habarientertainment.com. See you next week. Peace.